Hello everyone, welcome to the video. This week I finished most of the mechanics and stuff, so next week should be pretty easy to finish the game. But anyway, let's get into this week's progress. The first thing I did was drop a blood splat for the zombies when you kill them, which disappears after 5 seconds. I also made the zombies turn red when they take damage, so now there is some confirmation when you shoot a zombie, and it looks a lot better. The next thing I added into the game was 2 cursors. One for aiming and shooting, and I made the other one because at this point I wanted to rework the pickup mechanic. So you can click on a weapon in a certain radius and the cursor switches to signify that you can pick it up. The pickup mechanic still isn't great, but it's a little bit better. Next, I finally tackled something that I had been avoiding for a while, and that's using random. It's super easy, but somehow everyone online, except for this one dude on some random forum, forgot to mention that it requires a reference to the Unity engine, so it took me a while to figure out. But I did figure it out eventually, and I started randomizing stuff. First, I finally randomized the shotgun spread, more on that in a minute. And then I randomized the spawn time and location of the zombies. I should probably randomize the time between their shots too, but I haven't done that yet. So now that I pretty much finished the zombies, there's one more thing that I really need, and that of course is health bars. So one YouTube tutorial later, and this code which does a surprisingly good job of keeping the health bars stable, and the zombies have health bars that actually work. Then I just slapped one of those onto the screen for the player, and I turned it green. But people on TikTok didn't like it very much, so I made it a lot smaller and then stuck it to the corner. Around that time I also added in some camera movement, so if the player gets close to the edge of the screen, it kinda like pushes the camera. It's pretty basic, but I thought it was cool. At this point the game is pretty mechanically sound, and actually pretty fun to play, even though there's no game mode yet. So I wanted to add in some really cool weapons. So I added in a flamethrower, which is actually really smooth and I think the most fun to use. And then I added in a laser gun, which is just really good. This was also the point that I came back to the shotgun spread, because both the flamethrower and the shotgun require ammo to overlap, and that means that the ammo can't have a collider, or at least the collider has to be a trigger. So at this point I reworked all of the ammo to make it all triggers, and it's actually a lot better that way, because the zombies don't get jerked around when you shoot them. The last thing I did this week was draw some ground and wall tiles, and I locked the player inside this box. Doing this actually required another rework, because I had to change the player from a trigger to a collider so that the walls would work. But then that poses the issue of the zombies pushing the player around, and it messes everything up. So I ended up turning the zombies into triggers as well, which isn't ideal, but it's fine. And this is what we have after 3 weeks of development. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. Make sure to subscribe and follow me on other socials for more game dev.